everybody, it's Kasha Gage. Welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great December. I can't believe we are almost at the halfway mark. It's gone by in a blink of an eye, that is for sure. I'm not sure if you guys can relate to that. I'm going to show you a little bit of my stories 12 and 13, and then we'll put together story 14, and it's going to come together really quick and simple and easy. So for story 12, I told the story of our wrapping paper. I did a grid of just a few of the patterns, papers we have here, and trimmed this out with May Arts ribbon and added a gold sticker and popped that up. That was from this year's advent calendar. For the second part of this, I used one of the black transparencies. It's got the gold polka dot, and added a couple different washi tapes to hold this together. And this is from, let's see, this die cut page. I just used the silhouette file of this and cut this out, and I did it backed at two sides, so you can see there. I have a little post-it note, present photo. So it's not 100% finished for story 12, but that's okay. So part of it, my journaling, I'm not sure if you guys can even see that there. My journaling is on transparency, and it has some red mink. Part of this I talked about. I'll just even read a little to you guys or share a little bit here. I have this thing with wrapping paper, always have. Obsessed, some may even say. I love both solids and patterns. You can imagine the number of rolls of wrapping paper and spools of ribbon I've amassed over the years. Now double that. Yes, it's a lot. Every year for Christmas, I always have had a theme, and deciding that theme always starts by finding the ribbon. Some past themes have been plaids, greens, and blacks, solids, reds, and glitter. For me, it has always brought me immense joy in taking my time to beautifully wrap presents. But this year I decided to use what we have. We have enough supplies for the next 5 Christmases, I bet. I'll still come up with a theme from the box of ribbons and embellishments, reminding myself to use what we have and to be thankful. It's more than enough. So just a little bit. Now, just to share with you guys, this could have been my page, right? I could have done a grid of the wrapping paper and maybe put some other type of embellishment or just the date here. But I think I've shared in previous videos, I'm feeling like I want to add more, a little bit more words. And you see it's not even a lot, but just a little more words, a little bit more context here and there. So the front side of this, I used some, let me even find this here. These are gold rim tags. They're 1.5 inch. I got these at Joann's a couple of years ago. I am trying, next time I go in there, I need to look. I'm trying to find more. Those are my favorite, and I've hoarded them for a couple of years now. Cutting up some of those 2-inch die cuts. That was an add-on, adding a Santa and the number. And then for the back side, I used the red circle tags. And I can't remember if they were an add-on this year, if they were part of last year, or if it's part of the advent calendar, but I'll double check and look. And then cut up one of the transparencies that says fa la la. This I completely struggled with yesterday trying to assemble, especially because of, see how there's like a little, it's more of a narrow gap here. So trying to get the DMC floss to stay, it was just, and my camera broke and my silhouette wouldn't cut. And then my printer, turns out you have what's called a maintenance ink box. Didn't even know that was a thing, guys. That was full. So I was, all right, we need to quit while I'm ahead or behind in some cases and just call it a day. Story 13 here is all about this year's Christmas books. I arranged them on a piece of white foam board in a circle, and then I added one of the felt stitch pockets. My journaling, it's again minked. I keep saying this every time. I love that. Talking about the morning, I had a slow morning on the 13th. It was super quiet. And just, you know, after I took Henry outside, we crawled back in bed and read. So just a little bit of the morning, adding some of that May Arts ribbon again, and then a Tim Holtz brad. After I put this together, it made me think it looks a little bit like a Santa belt buckle. I'm going to go with that. So now I'm on story 14, and this is pretty quick and simple, and I'll talk you guys through this. But one thing, there are 2 things actually I want to leave you guys with or say during this. So one is that not every page has to be complicated, right? There's beauty in that simplicity. There's beauty in just adding a photo to your album, or maybe adding some words to your album, or a combination of both. Maybe you just add a number. Maybe you add one embellishment. Maybe you tuck everything in pockets. You know, I think sometimes it can be maybe difficult if, you know, seeing what everybody else does or things like that. And while it can be fun, I just want to encourage you guys and remind you that however you want to document your stories this December, you do you. You know, I also, I'm going to say here, I think it almost seems like there's a bad, like, pocket pages and page protectors have started to almost get this like shamefulness or bad rap. And granted, I'm not using them here, but I do use them in my story album. I do still do Project Life. And there is, again, there's beauty in just sticking stuff in the pages. So whatever, take that for what it's worth. I want to encourage you guys and just remind you there's beauty and simplicity in however that looks for you this year. And there's also beauty in doing all the things. So did a couple things here. One, I printed out my journaling on just matte paper again, and I minked this, ran that through the mink with gold foil. And then I am going to be adding a photo of Henry and I. You guys may have seen this if you've been following along over on my Instagram stories. I shared this one night. And I love this photo. It was, granted, this didn't happen on the, specifically on the, grab another piece of paper here. Anything will do on the, what am I trying to say here, guys? Let me start again. This didn't happen specifically on the 14th. However, Henry and I, or Ben and Henry, open the advent calendar every single day. So I thought that would be a good story to include. And I'll share with you a little bit about him. If I didn't say it also, as a side note already, yes, I did. Never mind. I feel like it's a Monday, and what is it? Wednesday. Oh, it's been that week already. Feeling a little scrambled and rushed to finish up Christmas shopping and all the things. It'll get done, my friends. It'll get done. All right, so I'm going to be adding my holes here. And then one last embellishment. I will say this album is getting really chunky. So I am trying to take that into consideration. These felt pockets, while I love them, they add, I mean, I don't know. Can you guys just see like the amount of like bulk that adds right there? I mean, this is like super thick and chunky. So I'm trying to now think that through, because I will not go into a second album. I will not. I am bound determined not to. So I'm going to have to make everything fit. I think I'm just going to pull over this white chipboard number and then add this. This is from the digital stamp this year that says, had the messy circles. I think that was a 6x8. And again, just filled that in and printed that out on my laser printer and ran that through the mink with gold foil. I like how that is. So I'm just going to finish up this stuff here. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, now this is about the time that I start thinking of the stories I have already told, right? I look back, what have I included? What photos have I included? I mean, I've taken way more photos than I will actually use. I'm somewhere in the, I don't know, like 1200s or something. Now, granted, I don't necessarily keep all those, but it's a lot. So, you know, are there any other, like this photo specifically, right? Any other photos I want to include or stories that come from that? Are there things I haven't captured? Just taking a little bit of stock of, you know, what's on my heart, what's on my mind, what's happening in our life. What do I specifically want to include and remember this December? So knowing that, that's definitely helping me to try to I guess, plan or take a little bit closer look for the rest of December or the rest of my days. I only document through 25. I think I'm just going to add a simple little star here. I don't have any ones that are bigger. I also pulled these over too. These are little glitter starbursts. Spoiler, that was part of the advent calendar this year. I don't know which dates were which. I like it, but I don't love it. Okay, we're just gonna go with the green star. Hang on here. We'll just put that in later. All right, so that's gonna finish it off for here. Perfect. Simple, done. I'll share this even with you guys and then we'll wrap up. One of the Christmas traditions we have in this house is advent calendars. This year we chose one from Palais de Thé because we love tea. And we also ordered one for Henry from I think I have found a typo. Bonnet Filou. It's filled with 24 days of dog treats. On the first day of December, I called Henry by the tree and opened it with him. I love this moment captured because it is so representative of his curiosity. Now, 14 days into December, Henry sits by the kitchen counter waiting for his treat from the advent calendar after he's finished his dinner. He will be sadly disappointed after Christmas. I'm so glad that we included him in our tradition, and I'm thankful for the joy it is bringing him this holiday season. So again, just a little bit, that's where I was mentioning that, even though this photo was taken at the beginning of December, it's still something, it's an activity that we are doing every single night. And just a few thoughts about that. So this is where I'm at in my 2022 December daily. If you guys have any questions, comments, be sure to leave them below. I will have all my supplies linked. And if there's anything specific or tutorial wise or anything, be sure to also let me know. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care.